Hey, bookish friends. I was going to do just like a little book blip because I just had a few books, and then I was gonna film my TBR for February, but my library bookstore was open today, and it was buy one get one free, so I have a little bit more than a blip. Let's start with the few books that I thoughtfully purchased this month. I have Reign of Terror by Jan Fields. This is book number 12, I believe, in the Scottish Bakehouse Mysteries series. We have three older women, Molly, Laura, and Carol. They were college roommates, and then in their 50s or 60s, they decide that they want to do a new venture, and they open a bakehouse in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in this Scottish, not exactly themed town, but a lot of the people who live there, their ancestors came from Scotland, and as someone whose grandmother came from Scotland, I definitely feel, drawn to that. This one, best friends since they hit the books together in college. That's the series introduction. The Bakehouse 3 learn that another newcomer is starting a fresh chapter in town, and they rush to patronize the recently opened used bookshop of retired Detroit police detective Edgar Richardson. Obviously, there's going to be... Unfortunately, Edgar is discovered dead under suspicious circumstances after his shop is burglarized, and the police inform Molly and Carol that they were the last customers to see the kindly retiree alive. Man, I was hoping we'd get more bookish content set in a bookstore. As Molly Fair scanned the empty front room of Bread on Arrival, she marveled afresh at how the bakehouse was transformed daily from the lively bustle of morning to the quiet of closing time. And I bought a copy of Crown of Fire by Kathy Tyers. I actually read this book, and when I did my book bracket for 2026, this one ended up being my favorite book, so I'm like, I should get a copy of it. And I also like to loan books out to my friend. Not much I can say because this is the third book in a trilogy. We still have our Lady Firebird as the main character, although I'm not sure that this is her on the cover. There's a different woman on each of the three covers, and I'm wondering if this was actually her oldest sister, because she does factor into the story. And yeah, I'm not going to read the back because I don't want to give spoilers. Let's see if I can read the first sentence. I loved this series in 2025. Alright then. Not a great first sentence, but it is a fantastic book. And a children's book. I got A Cup of Christmas Tea by Tom Hegg. A friend of mine posted that she wraps, I think it's 24 Christmas books and put them under her Christmas tree, and then each night her kids can unwrap a book and read it, and this was one of the ones that she said they really enjoyed this year. So this does have an inscription in it. Christmas 98. Dear Susan, a bit of frivolity, a token of friendship. Merry Christmas, Susan. A pal in kindred spirit. Maris. That's so funny. Alright, now my library bookstore haul. I got all of these for $3. It says buy one get one free. First up, we have Dee Dodo Future Spy number 3. My kids like this series. We have the first two. I have Sweep, the story of a girl and her monster by Jonathan Auxier. I have read this, couldn't resist it for 50 cents, and I want to try reading it again, because maybe I just didn't pick up on the awesomeness the first time. And they had The Divine Proverb of Streusel by Sarah Brunswald. I've read this too, but I couldn't pass it up for a quarter. I actually really enjoyed this one and would like to read it again. And I haven't told you what any of those are about. My bad. I just want to keep this fast. Saving Grayson by Chris Fabry. I think Shatona read this book and raved about it. So when I saw it for a quarter, I'm like, yes. Okay, paperbacks are 50 cents, but it was buy one, get one free, so it worked out to a quarter a piece. How far would you go to love someone well? Grayson Hayes is a sharp-tongued, witty wordsmith, but the stream of language has become a trickle as words skitter from his mind. Dreading this growing loss and desperate to care for his wife after he's gone, he hatches a plan that requires a cross-country road trip to the West Virginia of his youth. And I had a copy of The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I just read My Dear Hemlock, which is like the Screwtape Letters reimagined for women. So I thought I would give The Screwtape Letters another try. And it was a quarter. And just because I had another free book, I got Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. I've heard good things about her book, The Letter Tree, so I thought it was worth maybe picking this one up. I think this is like a Beauty and the Beast inspired historical fiction. Iowa, 1903. All of Monticello believes Otis Taylor has been away fostering his musical genius, but the truth is that his father exiled him long ago, rejecting Otis's appearance and the scars that came with it. Now that he is the last living Taylor, Otis has covertly returned to settle his family's affairs and rid himself of his past for good. However, he soon discovers that he may not have been the only discarded Taylor and begins a tireless search for his missing niece. That's all I want to read ahead of time. I did not try the first sentence of all these. Monticello, or is it Monticello? Different states pronounce it differently. Iowa, spring 1903. Mama always said eavesdropping was the surest way to stir up trouble and make enemies out of perfectly good neighbors. Not a bad first sentence. Alright, let's go back to the Screwtape Letters. I'll read the first sentence on the ones that I actually plan on reading. That's the preface. And that's the end of chapter 1. Let's see if this survives. It might be... My dear Wormwood, I note what you say about guiding your patient's reading and taking care that he sees a good deal of his materialist friend. And Saving Grayson. Chapter 1. Grayson Everett Hayes sat in a lawn chair in his garage, bathed in flickering fluorescence, slathered in sweat, wearing nothing but his boxers, a yellow legal pad in one hand and a nail gun in the other. Oh, the next sentence says he couldn't remember why. That's intriguing. And I needed one more book because it was buy one get one free, so I got Mouse Tales by Arnold Lobel. This is an easy reader at my 6-year-old's level. And my husband said we didn't have a good enough dictionary. So when I saw this beast on the clearance cart of pay what you want outside the book sale room, I'm like, well, let's see if this one's any better. This is the American Heritage Dictionary of English Language. Now it's time to pick my TBR for February. I have 4 books I'm hoping I can get on it, so we'll see what the cards do. I should give them a shuffle. Shuffling on camera so you can tell that I have not pre-selected any of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go with this one. Random number TBR cart. Okay. I'm going to do a random number for, well, at first shelf, second shelf, and then I have a pile on the floor. So, let's pull up a random number generator. maximum 3. I'm gonna do it 3 times to try to get a completely random number. Don't know if you can see this. 1, 2, 3. That's my pile on the floor. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's one I've already read. I can count that. 7, 9 on the floor. Gonna hit it 3 times again to get a random number. 1, 2, 3. Number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. This is one my friend sent me for Christmas. Septimus Heap, book 1. The magic begins here. Septimus Heat, the 7th son of the 7th son, disappears the night he is born, pronounced dead by the midwife. That same night, the baby's father, Silas Heap, comes across an abandoned child in the snow, a newborn girl with violet eyes. The Heaps take her into their home, name her Jetta, and raise her as their own. But who is this mysterious baby girl, and what really happened to their beloved son, Septimus? It's short but thick. Silas Heap pulled his cloak tightly around him against the snow. Could be good to read what sounds like it's set in summer. It's set in winter. Wow, that was totally the wrong word. Yeah, alright, that's the first one. Not one of the 4 I hope to get on here, so if I don't get any of the 4 I want to get on here, I'm only going to draw 3. Because, yeah. Even getting in 7 books is going to be a struggle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Illustrated cover! Huzzah! Okay. I'm going with Reign of Terrier because it should be set in February if I'm doing my counting correctly. So that's perfect. This is one of the 4 I wanted to get on here. This would also work for the Read Your Bookshelf challenge because there are definitely at least 4 items on the cover there. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let's go with the end this time. The reread. Not what I was hoping for. Do I have any? I have 2 rereads over here. Fine. We'll continue with the bookshop theme and go with The Bookshop of Secrets by Molly Rushmeyer. Hope Sparrow has mastered the art of outrunning her tragic past, learning never to stay anywhere too long and never to allow anyone control over her life again. Coming to Wanashin Falls in search of her family's history already feels too risky, but somewhere in the towering stacks of this dusty old bookshop are the books that hold Hope's last ties to her late mother, and to a rumored family treasure that could help her start over. Only the sharp clang of a bell above the door and lopsided towers of books greeted Hope Sparrow as she entered Dusty Jacket's bookshop. I mean, I like a good bookshop book. Alright. That's 3. One of them is the one I wanted. I'll do one more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nonfiction. Again, not quite what I was hoping for, but that's okay. I typically want to read a nonfiction anyway, and I think I'm going to do You Who, Why You Matter, and How to Deal with It by Rachel Jankovic, because this is actually on my 2016-2026 list. If who am I is the question you're asking, Rachel Jankovic doesn't want you to find yourself or follow your heart. Those lies are nothing compared to the confidence, freedom, and clarity of purpose that come with knowing what is actually essential about you. And the answer to that question is at once less and more than you are hoping for. It's nonfiction, but perhaps I should open this book with a warning. That's a bit of an intriguing first sentence. Now I'll go ahead and tell you the other 3 books that I hope to read this month. One of them is A Cup of Trouble by Angela Ruth Strong. This is the 2nd book in the Caffeinated Mysteries series. It looks Valentine-y, so I wanted to read it in February. Also, it does have 3 or more objects on the cover because we have a teapot, we have a mug, and we have a key, and we have a lock. So that's 4, and there's a little car on the back. Can a couple of baristas chase down a car thief without spilling a drop of their favorite drink? Plans for a Valentine's Day grand opening of a small town coffee shop go awry when the first customer is killed. Evidence points toward the victim being mixed up in a car theft ring, but shop owners Tandy and Marissa have reason to believe he was framed. An assortment of suspects from a pink-haired heir to Tandy's charming ex all seem to know a little too much about Grand Theft Auto. Chapter 1. I'm turning on the heat. Okay. And I had my book club. And we use the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge prompts for our book club discussions. And 4 people decided that they're going to read a volume of the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon because it has like leaves and flowers and more leaves. We decided for our group that anything that wasn't a person counted as an object. So there we go. So 2 of my friends, they're sisters and they work together. They're swapping volume 1 back and forth between each other. My friend who brought volume 1 back to return, she took volume 2 home. And my other friend took home volume 6. And I'm taking volume 5 to the person who missed book club to church tomorrow. So I'm like, I don't want to be left out. So I'm going to read volume 7. Not much I can say except it is 1884 and Emma M. Lyon has at long last gained her majority because she came of age. I do like that Beth Brower, the author, she does include previously mentioned persons of interest in the front, and it is also fun to see the personal library of Emma M. Lyon as it currently stands in the back grow with each volume. I'm so excited. Then I'll only have 1 more volume and then I'll be all caught up with the series. And now I might have some room on my cart to squeeze some more books on. Although, yeah, I was going these books from my library sale and the ones I got for Christmas, the ones I bought. I'm running out of room. Oh, I forgot. I do have 1 more book. For Chantal Reads All Day's Indie Book Club. It is Crown of Beauty and Anarchy by Aurora Bell. She is meant for beauty, he is meant for destiny. The queen is meant to be an empress, but who will bear the crown of Whiteshire? Princess Ira White has only ever wanted to know and feel the love of a mother and the protection of her father. Instead, she's had to endure the harsh hand of her stepmother, Queen Amara, who seems bent on openly despising Ira and sheltering her away from the duties of one day becoming Queen of Whiteshire. I plan on getting that book. I'm just gonna buy the Kindle copy because I am so running out of space. My furnace is kicking on. Here is my now giant stack I hope to read in the shortest month. Let me know a book you plan on reading in February. And until next time, happy reading.